Maybe you need accounting services. Maybe you need something else to drive the business. Maybe something is missing and you haven't been able to put your finger on it because you're spending too much over here. But if you're looking at the numbers, you'll be able to shift them to a need, an area where your business needs to grow.
Welcome to the Networking with Michelle podcast, the show dedicated to providing you with life strategies with a little bit of entrepreneur advice. Here we believe in the Jim Rohn quote, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Hey everyone, welcome to the Networking with Michelle show. I'm your host, Michelle Gourmet, where we discuss life strategies with a bit of entrepreneurial advice. And don't kill me. Today's conversation is about taxes, finances for small business owners. And yes, you can think this is past due, and I do apologize. I had some hiccups, just trying to get things in order. But I want to say this, it's never too late to get your finances in order. It's never too late to get your financial home in order. And I don't think we have to wait until the end of the year, that December, January to get our receipts together and file taxes, in February or whatever, especially if you're a business owner. Please take the time right now, not only to listen to this interview, but also just to get your finances together. I was extremely blessed to meet online, interview Dr. Cozette White, I want to say 2016 or 17. And the conversation with her blessed me so much. I hired someone to manage my bookkeeping, and let's just say I got a little bit more saner, if that makes sense. Okay. No, but for the information she provided is priceless, and you don't want to get caught up. You don't want to get caught up when it comes to your finances. And some of the things we talk about, we get some lessons here, right? The vocabulary, the difference between sales, revenue, profit margin, cash flow, the importance of cash flow, which reports that you need to file, who do you need to hire, when do you need to hire them, what programs to use. This, I could say, accounting 101 for the small business owner. And as I stated, it's never too late. Never too late. So I hope you learned something from this episode, and hope you get your financial home in order. Dr. Cozette White, I'm going to have all of her websites links in the show notes. This woman is a wealth of information, and her story is incredible. And here's your chance to listen to it. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Networking with Michelle show. Today's special guest is Dr. Cozette White. She has been on here before, so I'm going to definitely link the previous episode. What I like about this, though, today we're going to talk about business, income, finances. Last episode was more on a personal basis, so this time we're going to dive deep when it comes to business finances. So Dr. Cozette White, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you? Thank you so much for even allowing me to come back. So that says something good, I guess, if I'm back for the second time, right?
Of course. So why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Absolutely. So as Michelle said, my name is Dr. Cozette M. White. I am the CEO and founder of My Financial Home. Now, when I say My Financial Home, it is all about home, but today we're talking about our business finances. And what we do, we are a global firm. We work with business owners as well as individuals to help them gain clarity and focus with their finances. We do financial planning, we do accounting services, and we also, of course, offer our tax services to our clients. What I love most about my business is really, assisting the business owners look at their numbers. Because as I always say to everyone is that numbers are truly sexy. It's just a matter of how we look at them, like putting on that black dress and just strutting your stuff and looking cute, right? So the numbers are just as sexy as well. For you men, you guys get all dressed up, look sexy as well. But really, you all, the numbers really tell you where you're going in your business, what you need to change, what you need to reassess, in order to truly grow. Maybe you need to shift your margins, your pricing. But that's what I love most about diving in and taking a real close look at the numbers and helping you grow your business. So that's what My Financial Home does. We've been around, My Financial Home has been around since 2014, but the business in itself, White Tax Services, our tax division, started in 2001. And then we branched out and added the small business development unit as well as another segment of the business. So that's what we are. That's what we do. We are globally. We are right in the midst of tax season. So here we are today.
Why do you think people are afraid of numbers? I mean, even as a child in school, it's like we have this fear of math. And then we grow up and it's like we want a business, but we don't want to face the accounting
Well,
aspects of it.
yeah, I think, it's just a fear. It's one of those subjects in school where we as individuals, we probably just didn't do good at it because we just didn't. And so it's one of those subjects, one of those topics where if you know that you're not doing well, then you're already going to have some fear and some blocks put up in front of you. And so every time you approach a number, it's like, here we go again. Here are these numbers. I just don't do well. So we have to shift that negative conversation in our head when we're talking about our numbers and say, I got this, and just move forward. I mean, it's self-conscious.
Yeah. So I want you to give us some vocabulary lessons before we dive deep. So can you tell us the difference between sales, revenue, cash flow, and maybe anything else attached to that?
Right. Great conversation. Okay. So sales, when we talk about sales, you all, and there's truly a difference. And I'm glad you asked this question because a lot of times I hear people say, I want to increase my sales, and they just think, oh, by increasing sales, I'm increasing the bottom line.
Right.
That's not necessarily true. So sales are all of the widgets you sell, all of the services that you sell, that you offer. The sales are the income, or not even the income, what you bring in from the services that you provide. So for this month, the month of March, let's just say I brought in 40,000 in sales. That's just a top level number. That's not my bottom line number. That does not include my overhead. Mm-hmm. My overhead means my lights, my payroll, my supplies. All of that is my overhead, my rent. That's my overhead. Now, when I take my sales, less my expenses or my overhead, then I come up with that bottom line, and that's what I call my income, my total income. And when you hear people say, I want to increase my sales, I don't care if you increase your sales, you can increase your sales, but if you have something in that equation that affects the bottom line, and say the bottom line, I made 40,000, but I spent 35, I only made 5,000. So it's that bottom line that I need to control or watch very closely. And it's the mix, the overhead, the expenses, the things that are in the middle that impact that bottom line. Also, let's talk about profit margin.
Okay.
Let's determine what profit margin is. Your margin is the markup, so to speak, as to what you are going to make off of your services or the products that you sell. So let's say you sold a book. Let's say you're an author out there and you sold a book, and I'm going to use a higher number just for simplicity. Let's just say you sold a book at $100. What is your markup? What did you actually purchase that book for? Let's say you purchased the book for $50 from the publisher or from the company that you bought it from. Your profit margin is 50%. You had a 50% markup. So your margin is really what you want to pay closely attention to when you're doing your pricing, because that is ultimately what's going to have an impact on that bottom line. Okay, so if you look or watch your profit margin very, very closely, then that will have a true impact on that bottom line, no matter what. what your expenses are, that profit margin, and I hope I'm saying this right, that profit margin is what's going to drive that bottom line.
Yeah. One thing I feel like doesn't get talked about enough is the actual cash flow in your business.
What I like to say, the cash flow is the heartbeat of your business. If you are not watching your cash flow, then your business is going to die. We all know that it takes cash, revenue, income. Cash is the new currency. Currency is energy. So it takes cash to run the business. Okay. When we talk about our cash flow, that means we're looking at our reports. What reports are we looking at? We're looking at our balance sheet. We're looking at our profit and loss statement. And of course, we're looking at a cash flow statement. And I know a lot of business owners, they struggle with that cash flow statement, but it tells you your sources of income and your uses of your income. And if you clearly understand that cash flow statement, then it can help you get a clear understanding of how you're using your cash. Okay. The P&L, profit and loss statement, again, it's a picture of the income that you brought in or the sales that you generated for the period, the month, the year, less your expenses. And then we have that bottom line. What was our total revenue, our total income that we generated that we were able to see at the end of the day? What does that number look like? Is it 50K? Is it, 100K? What does that number really look like? So that's the number that I look at. That's the number that a financial institution will look at. That's the number that a lender will look at. What is the bottom line profit that you generated that you actually were able to save or, do some investing with?
And these reports should be done monthly?
Oh, most definitely. Excuse me. All of the reports should be done on a monthly basis. The only report that I say we as business owners need to look at on a weekly basis, I call them flash reports.
Okay.
I call them a flash report. And what those flash reports tell me is how I am doing for the month. So at the beginning of the month, actually the beginning of the year, the previous year, we do budgets. And we do our budgets for a full 12 months. And at the beginning of every month, we look at what our goals are for the month. So if our goals are to do 50K in sales, we have strategies already in place as to how we're going to achieve that 50,000. We have our collections. We have key performance indicators for our social media, what we're spending on them, how we should be turning those likes into sales. And on a weekly basis, we look at our flash report to see how we're doing. If we're struggling, if we haven't brought in any income, then we need to shift some things really quickly so that we can meet our target goal of 50,000. We look at that every single Monday and every single Friday to let us know where we stand so that when we come in the next week, we know, we need to shift some things. If I need to close some contracts, if I need to negotiate and offer some incentives to close some contracts, I have to do what it takes. And as a business owners, you need to be looking at what I call those flash reports to see where you stand. There's no reason that on the 25th day of the month, you're like, we're not going to even make it.
Yeah, I'm in trouble.
We're not going to make it. What can we do in the last 5 days? It's too late, you guys, in the last 5 days to really push the numbers. Miracles happen.
But not every month.
But miracles can happen, but not every single month. But you have to plan. You have to plan. If we're looking at the reports, then that's the only really true way that I've seen business owners shift and start growing. And that's by really, really looking at the numbers. And I help them put plans together so that they can, I know not every business owner is going to do it, practice the strategies and do them every week, but I set them up for success so that they are becoming knowledgeable and familiar with what they should be looking for. And if they have a team, then that team can help drive to the success as well.
Yeah. And what is forecasting? What does that do?
Okay, forecasting, very, very good question. Forecasting allows you to look at the historical numbers, and let's just take let's take marketing expenses for an example. If I was to look historically over the last 5 years, what I spent in marketing expenses, then that will allow me to forecast and to project going forward. So I can look at the peaks and valleys of, okay, for 2016, we did really well with marketing, but we spent X amount of dollars. Where can we cut? So it will allow me to forecast going forward to say, for the first quarter, let's spend $10,000 on marketing. The next quarter, that's our lowest quarter, one of our lower quarters. So we need to beef up the marketing. Let's spend maybe 20 and then move forward. But what the forecasting does is allow me to say, okay, this is what I forecast. This is what I budgeted. Let's see what I actually spent. So I forecasted 10,000 for Q1. Did I spend 10,000? Did I come in above? Did I come in higher or lower? It allows me to look at where I stand. So, and we can shift. We can adjust the forecast. We don't have to keep it at that 10. If we go in at 10 for the first quarter, we can decrease or increase.
And that's good. And that's why you should do your reports on a monthly and quarterly basis. That way you can have that historical data and then see the trends, especially going into year 2, 3, and eventually 5 years of business.
Right.
Okay. Now I want your advice on something. Because a lot of us, I'm going to give everyone this compliment. A lot of us do a budget, right? But then I think if you're good at what you do, opportunities are always going to come. But it's kind of like, how do I navigate this opportunity when it becomes an extra expense? Not saying it's a bad thing. It's just that I have my budget and I don't know how to incorporate, this miscellaneous opportunity. Can you give us some advice to that?
Right. What I say when someone has a budget and maybe something comes up, and I'll give a perfect example. I didn't budget for a business expo this quarter, but an opportunity came up. So what I have to do is look at my expenses for the month and figure out, what can I eliminate? What can I eliminate and still come in where I need to? Or if I dip into this month, where can I cut for the next quarter and still come out with the same result at the end of the year? Whether that be I'm looking at my numbers on a monthly, a quarterly, or an annual basis. If I know that I only have in this bucket X amount of dollars to spend, then I need to not overexpend. I need to come in right on point or either below. If I come in over, then that means that I need to take out of another bucket and come short someplace else. That's what we have to learn to do. We can budget all we want, but a budget is only a roadmap. And if we don't follow that roadmap, then it does us no good.
That's true.
Does us no good. And like I always say as well, is we need to look in the windshield wiper through the windshield and not through the rear mirror. The rear mirror is the trends, what happened in the past. The windshield wiper is looking forward, forecasting for the future, so, but yeah, we can budget all we want, you all, but we need to not just do the budget. This is great. It looks cute. It's pretty. All of that. It looks good. Congratulations. But let's take it some steps beyond that. Let's look at that budget and the actuals every single month. And I'm telling you, I time and time, when you do your budget and you compare it to your actuals, then you will say, oh my goodness, this is what's happening. I didn't realize I was spending so much in this particular category. And when you become a lot more in tuned and aware, then you will start cutting back. You will start, spending less in those areas. And then you can take some of that overhead, those expenses, and shift them to another area that your business can benefit from.
I like
Maybe
that.
you need a salesperson. Maybe
Right.
you need accounting services. Maybe you need something else to drive the business. Maybe something is missing and you haven't been able to put your finger on it because you're spending too much over here. But if you're looking at the numbers, you'll be able to shift them to a need, an area where your business needs to grow. Maybe that's a consulting firm that can help you develop different strategies for the organization. Maybe it's a human, I don't know, whatever it is.
No, but that's good. I mean, I think that does help you if you need to increase your payroll in order for you to make your first hire, or to
Yes,
go to that conference, or spend more time in professional development for your business growth,
yes,
things of that nature.
yes.
Okay. So how do you help your clients? Whether it's on, I know we have people that, oh, it's tax season. You got any CPA recommendations?
Let's I help my clients in a lot of different ways. So for my business owners, and I know most of you that are probably listening, I'm going to assume that you're a business owner, whether you are a coach, whether you are a speaker, whether you provide a service, whether you are a doctor, dentist, whatever it is. What I do with my clients, I sit down and we do a full assessment as to what you need. What services do you need? This month I onboarded, or for the month, yeah, we're still in March. I onboarded 5 new clients. So with each of those clients, I had to figure out what was the need and how can we, as an organization, best service them, because each client was different, came to us with different needs. So if you're needing ongoing accounting services, whether that's assisting you with a succession planning, whether that's assisting you with your budgeting, or just your monthly accounting services. A lot of the small business owners that we work with, they don't have a high volume of information, expenses and income coming in. So what we're doing with our smaller clients, again, we're doing the bookkeeping. We're helping them track their expenses, record their expenses, and generate a monthly P&L and a balance sheet. A monthly P&L and a balance sheet. A P&L is a profit and loss statement. You need those as a business owner, not just so that you have a clearer understanding of where you're driving your business, but also if you go for funding, if you need capital equipment, if you need to go for a home loan, you will be required to provide the financial institution with those documents. They want to see the last 3 months. They want to see the last couple of years of tax returns.
Yep.
Those reports will help you in so many different ways. At year end, you can run a year-to-date report, pass that information over to your CPA accountant, and it will be a lot easier on you. It will also save you a lot more money when it comes to having your tax return prepared, because everything is done. You just hand it over to them and boom, they have what they need for the most part. But that's one way in how we service our business owners. On the personal finance side, we have our financial fitness boot camp. We have debt elimination courses, and we also have a course that we have put together especially for our youth, and that is Money, Mommy, and Me. That course is designed specifically to educate our youth on what exactly is money. How do we save money? How do we put together a team of professionals at an early age, and we teach that to adults as well. In the financial fitness boot camp, it talks about investing. It talks about retirement, wills, trust. It talks about putting together that emergency savings plan and developing a budget. So that course is a 6-week or 6 components to that particular course. So we make sure that we cover every aspect as it relates to finances here at My Financial Services, whether it's on the business segment or the personal finance segment.
I definitely want to commend you, because when we did the interview last year, you really had me thinking about some things, and I hired a bookkeeper.
Excellent.
To do my monthly reporting. And then I took those documents to my family CPA that I've been working with for years, even when I was in corporate America. She used to do my taxes every year.
Uh-huh.
And when I was getting those monthly reports, it really disciplined me.
Yes.
Like even though we had limited communication, it's just like, I know she's seeing it. Like, she held me accountable. And it was like, okay, Michelle, put the debit card away. Do you really need to subscribe to this? And, all these subscription services. But it really held me accountable and put some extra discipline on me. So I encourage anyone and everyone to, get a bookkeeper, the software, something in order for you to get your personal and business finances in order.
Something that's really simple for those of you that are, maybe you're looking to do this in-house yourself. QuickBooks is really simple. It's a user-friendly tool that's great for anyone that's, can get around on the computer and do some things. If you like using apps, then try the app Mint. That will allow you to track your personal finances. You can sync your bank account to Mint. Therefore, when you make purchases, it automatically, will download that information, and you can keep track if you're out and about. So just look at quick little simple tools that can help you effectively manage your money, on the personal finance side as well as on the business side. If you're struggling, I would say reach out now. Now is a great time because we're wrapping up the first quarter, but we're still at the top of the year, so to speak, rather than trying to hire someone and have them do 12 months of reconciliation on your banking information. I get that quite frequently. And right now I have one of the clients that I onboarded. We're going back and we're doing 12 months of reconciliation. It's easier to do it as you go month by month rather than going back and doing it, because you have to go back and recall different things and, maybe your memory is not as great, but it can cause some problems. But, we work through a lot of different situations with our clients. And just so you know, we have small business clients. We have our larger corporations. We have establishments that are doing, 3.5 million. It depends. We don't work with any particular industry, but most of them are service providers.
What do you have coming up?
Oh my goodness. What don't I have coming up? No, but on the serious side, let me just say this. For those of you that are here in the Southern California area, or maybe you're coming to the Southern California area, I do workshops the third Friday of every month at the Microsoft store, which is in Century City. So that's an ongoing thing. The third Friday of every month, I do what we call a lunch and learn. And then in the month of May, I'm really excited, you all. I'll be releasing my second book. I actually decided to really let my hair down, so to speak, and decided to really share my story. A lot of times when I'm out and about, or I'm on stage, or I'm just, I'm talking, people are like, Cozette, we know you started out in finance. We know you've been in finance for a while, but how did you really, really get there? And I used to tell my story, but I didn't tell the full story. But one day I sat down and I decided, let me just tell my full story. So I really I've been in finances all my life. Let's just get that part straight. But on the personal side, I was involved in a marriage that was filled with domestic violence, substance abuse, as well as verbal abuse. And let's just say that I ended up losing everything that I had. I almost lost the house. I ended up filing bankrupt. And I also was on welfare because I lost my job. So that was in my early 30s. I was about 30, 31, 32 right then in that time of my life. But I take everything that has happened to me in my life, you all, and I share it in that book. I share how I was able to bounce back and get myself back on track. Here we are some years later. I've invested in rental property. I still have my home. I have a great 401k plan. I've been able to invest and do a lot of other things. And that's what I share in the book. What you need to do to rebound after a financial disaster. I shared the steps that I implemented and just steps that I know that are important for you, for me, for anyone that has been on whatever, a financial struggle road, as I call it, how to bounce back. I talk about putting that will together. I talk about that living trust. I talk about a retirement plan. I talk about domestic violence, what to look for, who to go to for help. I talk about the budget. I talk about your net worth. I talk about it all in this book as I share my journey of what really happened and how, you don't have to stay where you are with your financial situation.
I love it.
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that gives us hope. I mean, that gives us hope.
It does. What did Jesse Jackson used to say? Keep hope alive. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, Dr. White, I want to thank you once again for just adding such tremendous value on the show and, just sharing a wealth of knowledge to us because I love it. I love what you said. Currency is energy.
Yes.
Currency is energy. And that's so important. Once again, whether it's personal or business, currency is energy. And look, I know how I am and I'm working on this, but lots of times I feel like my income and my ego is attached, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But see, that's good that you said that because, when we talk about money, ego is always attached. And it's like a struggle for folks to open up to anyone as it relates to money. So when someone comes to me, that's like one of the, I get it out in the open. Look, I've heard it all. I've seen it all. So what you tell me won't be foreign and I don't judge you. It's no judgment zone here when you come to speak to me about your finances. I'm just here to help you get back on track and to allow you to have some comfort in your life, some harmony, some peace, because people go to bed just struggling when we talk about money. It stresses them out. So it can be an ego thing.
I'm working on it. How can people find you and get in touch?
Yes, you all. I am on most social media platforms. I'm out there under Cozette M. White. And Cozette, for some of you who may be struggling, it is spelled C-O-Z, one Z, E-E. The middle initial is M and the last name is White. So Cozette M. White. You can also follow the business. We are also out there on all social media platforms under My Financial Home. So yes, I encourage you all to follow me. You can visit us on our website, myfinancialhome.com. You can also head over to my personal website, Cozette M. White. On the Cozette M. White, I do list all of the events that I have planned thus far for the entire year. So feel free to head on over there and find out where you can, come hang out with me, meet me, and let's meet.
All right. Sounds good. Once again, thank you so much for allowing us to get our financial home in order with your expertise. And remember, everyone, I believe in you, and a personal connection leads to an influential network.
Wow. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate this, Michelle.